of it.
No, this is not our newest Motor Week staff member. Actually, his name is Vince, and he's a crash dummy. He's used by the federal government to test for automotive safety and to develop restraint systems. This year, 10% of new cars must be equipped with automatic crash protection. That's passive restraints. And there are other recent restraint developments, passive and otherwise. So it's time for an active look at the subject.
If you think they don't make them like they used to, you're right, and it's a good thing too. In the days before restraints, some people thought steering wheels and doors would cushion the driver in a crash. But be thankful you weren't in this 1929 Chevy. Others thought drivers and passengers would be safer without seat belts, since they'd be thrown clear of the crash. Nowadays, everybody knows the safest way to drive is to be belted to the seat. Or do they? Last year, 45,700 people died on U.S. roads, and less than 10% of them were wearing seat belts. The National Safety Council estimates that 12,000 to 16,000 more lives would be saved each year if everyone buckled up. Since a lot of people still won't, the Department of Transportation is now requiring 10% of 1987 model cars to have automatic crash protection, restraints that work without any effort by the occupants. And that means either airbags or automatic seat belts for people in the front seat. This is the automatic belt that GM is using on this year's Oldsmobile Calais. It has an upper mounting point on the door frame, so the belt wraps around you as you slide in. Of course, it makes getting in and out somewhat less than graceful.
But other manufacturers know that drivers don't always wear blue jeans. Toyota's automatic belt stays out of the way until you turn on the ignition. Ford will also use one like this on their Escort and Lynx.
Besides being uncomfortable, automatic belts are only automatic in theory. The belts must be equipped with safety releases, and the releases look suspiciously like the buckles on a regular seat belt. So naturally, they can be unbuckled just like any other seat belt. Airbags, on the other hand, actually are automatic. They can't be disconnected by the driver. They're more expensive than seat belts, at least $200, so you see them mostly in cars like Porsche and Mercedes-Benz. They have a drawback too. They only work in frontal collisions, so you still need seat belts for crashes like this one. But it seems like automatic crash protection is here to stay. Airbags, automatic belts, or some other kind of automatic protection will be on all cars sold in the U.S. by 1990. That is, unless states representing 2/3 of the population pass mandatory seatbelt laws, something which at the moment appears unlikely.
But that's not all. GM and Ford will join some import brands and make 3-point seatbelts standard for rear seat passengers. They'll be in this year's Cadillac Seville and Eldorado, and in most all models by 1989.
This is partially due to a National Transportation Safety Board study that says rear seat 2-point lap belts can do more harm than good. GM is going one step further by offering kits, so rear shoulder belts can be added to their cars made since 1972. So we'll have some changes for the better in a few years, and some changes that could be a little annoying. But one change is long overdue. People's attitudes about wearing seatbelts. The Department of Transportation is working on that change, too.
Larry, for years I've been proving how safety belts save lives, but nobody's listening.
Sure they are.
Yeah, that's why thousands die in car accidents every year. I feel like I'm banging my head against the wall.
Come on, Vince. Tomorrow's the big day. 2 compacts. Head on.
High speed?
Could save a life.
No, I'll be there.
Yeah.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.